Hey guys, welcome back to this week's plane of the week. It is the G.55, the Sottoserie 0, so it is the pre-series of the G.55. Really quickly, let's go through some specs of it here. It does have a DB605A engine donated from Germany. For armament, it has 4 50 cals and a 20mm MG151 that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. The maximum speed before the wings rip off is 840 kilometers an hour. Of course, this plane is spaded, so that will be a little bit worse while you are working on getting it upgraded. And the spaded climb rate is 16.5 meters a second with a 20-second turn time. Now, the thing with the G.55, especially this first iteration of it, Italy was just starting to get it figured out, and it is kind of like a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none type of plane. And honestly, I did not even think about that or realize it until I was watching the clips back and realized that, holy crap, I am playing this with a way more aggressive strategy than I should be using. So what I would recommend trying with it is side climbing. It doesn't have to be a real aggressive side climb. If you just aim towards like the leftmost or rightmost base, you will probably be good enough with that. However, you are going to want to climb at a slower speed, around 250 to 260 kilometers an hour with it. And then after you're done with that climb, once you get to about 3,500 to 4,000 meters, and of course that's dependent on the map and the enemies that you are going up against. Sorry, my computer screen just turned off. So anyways, 3,500 to 4,000 meters is where you are going to want to let off of there, level out, and then you can choose your targets according to their energy state and of course what type of enemy plane it is. And additionally, if you end up going down into a furball, you are going to want to keep your energy state pretty high, because since this is quite a bit heavier than a 109, if you start flying this plane like it's a 109, you are just going to set yourself up for failure. It's not a 109, don't fly it like one, it's quite a bit heavier. With that being said, energy retention is still pretty alright because of that big old wing. You just really have to keep an eye on your speed, especially when you're dogfighting. You don't want to have too low of an energy state and get taken out. Now let's go over the strengths and weaknesses. Good lord. Has 2 strengths here from what I've gathered. Energy fighting and its energy retention, like I said, are pretty strong. And the armament is strong and pretty versatile with a wide variety of belts that you can use for both the 50 cals and the 20mm. I'm not sure why, but I had quite a hard time aiming these cannons and the machine guns. I'm not sure if that's just me. It most likely is. I'm sure that I was just having a problem, and here in this next clip, when I'm going up against the Corsair, you're just going to see, holy crap, Nuke can't aim anymore. And no, I cannot, unfortunately. So hopefully my skills will come back with that. And as far as the weaknesses, stall fighting in this plane is pretty much a no-go. Not that the DB605 is underpowered by any means, but it's just the weight makes it pretty hard to recover from something like that. And with 4.3, you are going up against a lot of planes that have a better power to weight ratio and have a better wing design that can fight at those slower speeds a lot easier. Some of the planes you're going to want to watch out for are Zeros, some of the Spitfires, the F Mark 9 you'll definitely want to watch out for, and honestly, T-18s, the T-18Bs, and any of those quicker strike aircrafts, you're going to want to keep a pretty good eye on them. Not necessarily the P-61. It's a lot heavier than the T-18 and not as maneuverable. And one of the other weaknesses it does have, of course, like the 109s and pretty much anything else with one of the DB engines, it does heat soak pretty easily, so you are going to want to watch your WEP time. just to make sure that you're not going to be overheating yourself too much. It's not really that big of a problem, except for in the beginning initial climb, you're going to see it heat soaking pretty well. After that, if you just crank it back to 100% throttle instead of your WEP, it should be fine. You should be able to cool back down without any issues. But overall, I think that the G.55, this one, the pre-series, is, out of all of the Italian planes that you can get in rank 3, like the Italian built ones, not the P-47, this is probably the best choice. And I'm forgetting what it is, but the twin engine strike aircraft, I've had a few games in it. It is pretty fun. However, whenever you're comparing this to like the C205 or the RE2001, I believe it is, this just blows them all out of the water. I think it's has a better design with a armament layout that I prefer more. Now, this is probably subject to change whenever I get into rank 4, but I'm not there yet. Well, I thought that was going to be the end of the video. However, when I went to do my match to get my screenshots for the thumbnail, I actually had a 4-kill game, which I was quite surprised by. And a couple things that I did figure out. Firstly, I should say the strategy that I talked about earlier in the video is 100% what you should be doing. And in this clip here, you know, they were escorting that 1.0 bomber. However, this led to a very, very good example of keeping your energy up in a dogfight. And honestly, I was just super impressed with this. It just both sides. I was actually sweating a little bit here, but you know, eventually got the kill coming up in the next couple of seconds, and I was very impressed. And honestly, this made me like the G.55 a lot more than I did originally when I made the first 3/4 of this video. So honestly, I'm quite surprised. If you play it less aggressively, like I stated, honestly, you can have a lot of success, and it's quite a fun plane to fly. And you know, I'm throwing this in here just because you know, a guy said he would subscribe if he saw it, so counting on you to sub. But here it is. Escorted this is an enemy 1.0 bomber, and we escorted him all the way back to his home base. So, you know, not something you see every day. Might as well put it in the video. So with that, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Sorry for the weird bit of editing, but make sure you like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.